ballistic expert Dr. Ignatius Van Boom gave an amazing testimony in court that, despite Julius Malema's earlier assertions of celebratory pyrotechnics, the Economic Freedom Fighters (EFF) leader did, in fact, discharge live ammunition into the air at Sisa Dukashe Stadium. Before we continue, please kindly hit on the subscribe button. The country is in disbelief after this shocking testimony. Resolute in the witness box was Dr. Van Boom, who was well known for his amazing ability to analyze the minute details of ballistic evidence. His voice resounded across the astonished courtroom as he proclaimed, "It was not fireworks as Mr. Malema misled the court. I saw 14 rounds fired into the air, each one a separate and lethal blast of live ammo." The courtroom was crowded with onlookers, reporters, and EFF supporters, and there was a palpable air of shock and dismay. Malema, who is well known for his caustic remarks and bold positions, is about to make a decision that might drastically alter the course of his political career. The state has passed its first test with flying colors. Encouraged by Dr. Van Boom's evidence, the prosecution now concentrates on the second, more concerning stage, which involves proving Malema's activities might be dangerous. Given that it is beyond dispute that live bullets were fired into the air, the prosecution's main point of contention is the danger to public safety. Unexpectedly, there has already been a conviction for holding and firing a weapon in a public place, becoming a first in South African judicial history. Legal professionals think that this may have harsh consequences for Malema and limit his significant influence in the political sphere. As the judicial drama plays out, the country waits anxiously to see whether this is the beginning of the end for one of South Africa's most divisive individuals. An enormous court fight is about to begin, with the promise of more shocking disclosures and dramatic high stakes. Once more, professional opinion at South Africa's Sisa Dukashe Stadium in East London, Julius Malema fired shots in real time. Julius Malema, the head of the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, is now under further judicial investigation after a significant courtroom disclosure. A ballistic expert witness stated that Malema shot live ammunition during a rally at Sisa Dukashe Stadium. Malema's prior assertion that he just fired fireworks is refuted by this. The expert gave thorough evidence throughout the intense court procedures, confirming that Malema did, in fact, fire 14 live rounds into the air. As the expert's testimony is the first hard proof the state has offered that explicitly links Malema to the unlawful use of a handgun in public, this revelation represents a major turning point in the case. Early in the evidence, the ballistic expert, whose qualifications and experience were well established, described the trajectory and properties of the fired rounds, categorically identifying them as live ammunition. The facts and ballistic analysis made it abundantly evident that these were not fireworks. The expert said, "The sound pattern, residue, and physical marks are consistent with live rounds." This revelation follows weeks of conjecture and legal wrangling on the part of Malema's defense team, who insisted that their client had used fireworks rather than a gun. This argument is undermined by the expert's evidence, putting Malema in a vulnerable legal position. The expert described the events in court, painting a clear picture of how hazardous Malema's actions were, and the mood in the room was heated. The air was blasted into with 14 rounds. This is a major legal violation as well as a violation of public safety, the expert stressed. Now that the trial's first phase has over and the state has passed this crucial test, focus is turning to the possible consequences of Malema's conduct. The court will next evaluate the risks to the public and the inherent hazards of firing a weapon in this way. Legal experts believe that the court will consider the possible damage and social consequences of Malema's actions, which may have an impact on how harshly he is sentenced if found guilty. A conviction for carrying and firing a gun in public has been temporarily established, but the ultimate decision will depend on more discussions on the risk that Malema's activities provide. Legal experts predict that because of the case's high profile and Malema's widespread influence, the prosecution will probably push for a severe punishment. With ramifications outside of the courtroom, this trial has captured the interest of the whole country. It calls into doubt public leaders' obligations, the rule of law, and political responsibility. All eyes are on the proceedings as the legal process carries on, waiting for further disclosures and their possible influence on the political climate in South Africa. Following this shocking revelation, Julius Malema's legal team is